Welcome to the second episode of Spooktober with the We Digress podcast. We also want to announce that this is the 1 year anniversary of the We Digress podcast. You are tuning in with the one and only 005. AKA the Nocturnal Demon of October. Tune in with the next representation of darkness. I pass it on to the next host.
Yo, it's your boy, you already know, Silos, aka Carlos. Guess what? I am also demonly possessed. So, just watch your back.
My throat hurt after that. That shit hurt.
Oh yeah,
Hey, yo, pause.
Yeah, pause. You usually have to like drink something before trying that, because I used to be like, So so just welcome back, and we're glad to have you. Thank you for listening for all these months. This is officially around the time we started the podcast in October.
Not that anybody's listening though.
Not that anybody's listening. So yeah, just thanks for the two viewers that we have. Most of our friends hate us by now. They were kind of like in the last episodes, but they just like
when
I posted up in the group chat, they usually just delete it right away. We're sipping on some
That's so sad.
Right now.
Oh god.
So yeah, thanks for it's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
this is by the time you listen to this, it's probably gonna be like past the 30th episode.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm bugging out. It'll be like this is episode 28. So yeah, we're 28 episodes in 1 year. It's not bad. That means like every 2 weeks we were uploading an episode. Yep. But you know what? Let's get fucking spooky, okay?
Let's get spooky, baby.
Let's get really spooky.
You didn't even introduce yourself
really
yet.
Spooky. Did I? Yo, it's Carlos. No. I think I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I'll do it again. Yo, it's your boy Carlos, aka Silos. Let's get spooky.
Yeah.
So
we shared stories last week. And I think today, instead of sharing stories, everybody has nostalgia when they're like kids. What's a nostalgic horror film or anything like scary that you did as a kid? Like, for example, like my favorite cartoons or like shows of all time are actually horror shows. My favorite cartoons as a kid were cartoons and shows as a kid were Goosebumps and Courage the Cowardly Dog. Now people are like, oh, like why the fuck would you like those of all as your favorite? I'm like,
yeah, you fucking nerd. Exactly.
I don't know why I said exactly to that, but Courage, I could say, was probably one of the most unique cartoon shows that I've ever watched.
We actually spoke about this before.
Everything was super different topic, and then Goosebumps also had. I love the fact that every episode was a different story. It had you latch. You didn't know what to expect from Goosebumps. You didn't know what to expect from any episode, but you knew shit was gonna be good, and that's why I watched it.
Kind of like Tales of the Crypt. What's the name of this other show? The Twilight Zone.
Oh, Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone is actually, yeah. But see, I didn't see Twilight Zone as a kid, but I would say as an adult, that's one of my favorite shows.
I think teenage years or getting close to that, I would see like reruns on TV.
The 50 ones too, like the
old
60s,
ones, black and whites.
Yeah, those are the best ones.
They had some of the scariest stories.
But they are so good, so good, and they were shot very well.
Some were really weird, but some of them were like left you thinking like, yo, that could happen to me.
They were shot well, and they always casted really good actors.
Yeah, they did. They did. That's crazy.
They did.
Oh man, those TV shows from I'm speaking about Goosebumps, like those books. Reading those books were so fucking scary, dog.
Goosebumps was
so scary.
It was different as a kid. It was just
It was just
fun fact, I actually did hear that Sony might be rebooting Goosebumps.
The books?
The show, yeah.
I know there was a Goosebumps
in like more of an adult form.
Oh, more.
So I don't really know how.
No, the books were grotesque.
Yeah. So
for
like,
a kid, kids were dying in those books.
Yeah. So
They were getting clipped.
But in the Goosebumps, kids died too, like in the regular show. Like
In the
they
show,
would get,
for real?
They would get, yeah,
They
bro,
get-
yeah.
oh, sure.
It wasn't like super like out there, but it was implied, like
Off
it was,
camera
It was
or, like,
yeah, it was on site, like
camera
it was off
cut.
him. Yeah. So I mean, if they do like a more adult approach, super hype for it. That show definitely like probably created the creativity and imagination in my mind. But with that being said, since we're talking about shows and cartoons, or whatever the case may be, what horror movie, show, cartoon, whatever the case may be, hits you most? Or like, what do you like most about it? What's your top 5, whether it's classic or not?
Top 5?
Or top 3? Top 3. Let's do top 3.
Top 3? Oh no, we can also do top 5.
We can do top 5.
I'd say any Freddy movie,
Okay.
any Jason movie, Halloween, obviously Michael Myers. That's 3 already. Honestly, the Shining is great. I don't know what it is about that movie that just makes you always
So
want to
well
go back
shot.
to
That's
it.
why. It's so well shot. That's why.
Yeah, like I would always
Shout out to
rewatch.
my man Kubrick.
Yeah. Oh my God, such a great director.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on him. And then I guess last but not least, you know what, man, I really like vampire stories and especially Dracula stories. There's so many Dracula movies out there.
There's tons of them.
There's just so many.
Tons.
Honestly, it's hard to say one. Well, I know it's hard to say one movie, and especially for all the other franchises, except for the exception is The Shining. That is one movie, and not including the sequel that came out, Doctor Sleep. But like, other than The Shining, all the other ones, I'm just talking about the franchise in general. I like it. So I guess the last one would be Fuck, I just had a brain slip. I was about to say it. So I said Freddy Krueger.
Freddy, you said Jason, Michael Myers, and then you said The Shining.
The Shining, but I had a last one.
Yeah, you did.
It's a franchise.
A franchise?
Fuck, I can't remember. Come back.
All right.
I'll remind myself because if not, we're gonna be here for a really long time.
Yeah, this is gonna sound mad dumb, right? Super dumb.
Oh, my bad. Before you say
What?
I was
you
just
used to
talking
talk
about
about
it.
vampires,
So
yeah.
any Dracula movie
Okay.
out there. That's
All
pretty
right.
much it.
For me, it's gonna sound wild, stupid. I would say pinnacle of horror. Not pinnacle, but like very grotesque, very profound, very well shot, and very politically well informed movie was The Exorcist, right? They made that movie at a time where they knew that they could grab the audience based on like the religious things going on at that time. At that time, I think they were pushing like a lot of demonic shit going on, and that's why it got so much tension and it really scared the shit out of people. They put the context of what's happening in real life into a movie. That's what attracted the audience the most. But in terms of how it's shot, how dark it is, to this day, I can admit I've never seen the movie. Right?
The Exorcist?
I've had crazy fears of watching that movie. But
Really? I've
this
seen that movie like twice at least.
2020, I will watch it. This October, I will watch that movie alone in the dark. Real nigga shit or bitch nigga shit. Either way, I'm gonna watch it.
Right.
So I would like to put that in my top, but I haven't even seen it yet. But the thing is, I've had so much respect for it because I know what it's about, and I actually know the history about it. I just never grew the balls to see it, nor the sequels. Cause what the fuck, am I insane? But I would say, another thing I noticed, we have Halloween, then we have Jason. But I always noticed that like Jason really does not get that much play. Like a lot of people talk about Halloween and Michael Myers.
Michael Myers, yeah.
He's the real pinnacle serial killer,
It's strange with him because
knife serial killer.
and I think I know what the reason is because Michael Myers is more believable
Than Jason?
villain because he's more of he started out as a serial killer. However, as the movies went on, it became more of a he became more of a curse, a curse through I guess the like satanic or occult almost.
They did that. They did the same thing with Jason. He started off nice, and then not nice. He started off like as
a serial killer. He was a normal person.
And then he turned into the fucking Jason X. Remember that shit?
Right.
Horrible. He went to space.
But then before that, he was part of some sort of like he was a dead body in a river, and then he came out of the river. Like
maybe that's why he doesn't get as
and
much
eventually
attention.
they kept coming back. Now with Michael Myers, they retconned a lot of they like got rid of a lot of the movies. Like, oh, this never happened.
Yeah, they have to do that.
So I think it reached to a point where like at least for Michael, not for Jason, but for Michael Myers, it was like they reached a point where like he was locked up in an insane asylum. He's just a regular guy. Mm-hmm. But however, he has freakish strength.
Yeah.
Which is insane, you know, like insane asylum strength.
He's very prone to physical damage as well. He has a high tolerance for physical damage.
Yeah.
So that type of shit.
I don't know if there's something in his brain that makes him that way, but
maybe it's flicked off a little bit.
Yeah.
Freddy, honestly, he's cool as fuck. I think he's a great concept.
No, he's like they took the idea and they ran with it. Like he is.
I don't think they've ever. As for me, they messed up. They may have messed up a movie or two, but I don't think they've ever messed up his story. The concept of Freddy is genius. Like everybody sleeps. You can't avoid that, right?
Yeah.
But the fear of going to sleep and knowing that somebody might haunt you in your dreams is horrific.
Right.
And knowing that these dreams are realistic.
Do you remember the scene where it was like the bed scene where
he cut through it?
Yeah, a lot of shit happens in the bed in horror movies. But I think he sunk into the bed and then it exploded like a volcano of blood on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yo, son, I'm telling you, if you're not into scary movies or you just don't really watch them, you gotta watch these series.
I think that Freddy is inclined to a reboot. I think the past couple movies haven't really done him right.
It was rebooted once, but it was weird.
It was weird, yeah.
They got up to a point where like he was like kind of like a child molester at some point. You know, they got way off topic with some of those.
Respect for certain authors. You know how I have a feeling with authors how they let other people write for them and shit like that. But aside from that, respect to like Stephen King for like the reason it is really good, I think, is because they lay a lot of foundation as to like who Pennywise was, right? We hear about Freddy and it's like more like he was a child molester, right?
I don't know if I don't remember the original. I know in the reboot, I don't remember the original one. I'd have to rewatch it, but the same story goes like this. He was hated by the town folk for whatever reason. And what they did was they locked him in like some building or something, and they set him on fire.
Yeah.
So that's why every time you see him, it looks like his skin is fucking melted off his face.
I think it's so easy to,
and it's like a curse. He's like a vengeful spirit almost.
But I think it's so easy to make a character like that so popular if you just take your time and create a how do you say, like a prequel story. Yo, show Freddy in his heydays before he became Freddy. Show his struggle.
I think of the reboot, they not too much.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
But like, not enough.
Give at least half of the movie like that. Boom.
The reboot Freddy too. He was a bit more intimidating. That because the funny thing is that in the earlier horror movies, I guess like in the 90s and 80s, there was a lot of comedy, which is fucking hilarious. I don't know why they always have to include comedy, but there's one time where Freddy's gonna go kill like some girl, and the TV is playing. She's wearing like a medical gown or a sleeping gown or something. She's looking at the TV, and like Freddy pops out the TV, and he's like fucking insulting her when he's like about to kill her, and then he these arms stretch out the TV, grab her, and fucking shove her face into the TV and it kills her. And you know what he says? He says, "Prime time, bitch." Boom.
Yo, he always had good punchlines.
He had the
great
best
punchlines
ever. It's like,
but see,
it's
those
crazy.
are easy things to. All right, for example, right? We know Freddy as not a deity, but like a demonic presence, right? Sort of like a deity, like something that's like supernatural, right?
Yeah.
What really makes people, I think, connect is if you make him human again. You make him human. You make him see like, yo, they fucking going wild at him. No wonder he's going ape ball shit. No wonder he's trying to like violate. But then you also show his weird side when he's human, as in like you could put his punchlines in, him saying weird shit to people like randomly on the street, and they're like, yo, why the fuck he said that for? That was a little off-putting, and that could have like a snowball effect as to how people started not to like him. They started to hate him across the town.
Your punchlines suck.
Exactly. Like,
you fucking suck.
He says the wrong shit at the wrong time. People hate him. He's awfully kind to children, and he's awkward, so people don't like Freddy around his children. Right. Rumor spreads around that Freddy touched the child.
Yeah. Instead of actually being true.
Exactly.
Because in the reboot, it was like, yo, he actually did fucking.
All right, and children. And guess what? Maybe you make that true too, where like, you make the audience, you trick the audience into thinking he's a good guy. Where he meets the kids, he's nice to the kids. He doesn't do anything to the kids for like probably half the movie. And you have the audience full thinking, yo, this guy is like, he's legit. Like, he's not doing nothing to the kids. Right. Then you have the one scene where shit gets weird.
Right. They find the discovery when one of the one of the other main characters actually finds like a no evidence. Mm-hmm. They're like, holy shit. The town folk were right. Exactly. They had to take matters into their own hand. Which I think is what happens in the reboot, but there was a problem in that movie. The reason why it didn't really hit the way it hit, it was just like, maybe it was just the, what do they call it? The execution, so to speak. All puns intended. The execution of it just was off. It wasn't like executed well.
Like I said, it could be 10 times better from what I see as a writing standpoint. Like I said, you have the audience fooled into thinking he's a good guy. Yeah. And then slowly you see him develop into wanting to touch these children or whatever. And you're thinking like, yo, slow the fuck up. This thing is crazy. That's when they go into Burning of the Freddy. And that's when you could go step right into the actual like horrific Freddy movies. And you could really grow upon that. And people, now that they've seen him human, they know what type of like gritty guy he's turned out to be, and kind of makes him connect with the audience more.
You know, it's funny. We didn't really mention. We mentioned a lot of stuff, but I guess like
I didn't even name a top 5 yet. I just.
Oh yeah, name your top.
No,
5.
Go ahead. No, go.
No, I was just gonna say like just shout outs to like, you know, the Frankenstein movies and the werewolf movies and
don't forget zombies, man.
Swamp monsters, zombie movies. George Romero, like I guess he's like the father of zombies, zombie movies. It's just so many great. There's so many. You know what's crazy about zombie movies, and I know, just the market is plagued.
Crazy plagued right now.
With just all puns intended. With all
puns intended.
With all of these like movies and stuff, but the zombie movies and all this other shit, but. I know it gets tiring sometimes, but honestly, go back and look at some of the classic movies. Put your mind. Here's my thing with watching older movies. I always put my mindset to like, I like dial back the clock, and I put like, okay, I'm sitting in a movie theater, where I bought this on B cassette, VHS, whatever the fuck, whatever they had back then, I can see, and you're watching it for the first time. When I'm watching a movie for the first time and it's a really old movie, I set myself like, all right, this is all you know. Like, you don't know that they have that you can watch 4K Blu-ray. Yeah. Like, you gotta watch it now. And this has never been done before. So then when I watch the movie, I'm like, wow, that was very innovative for its time. But then maybe if I watch it a second time, or if I think on the other side of the coin, like, compare this movie and how has it aged. Some movies don't age well. Yeah. Some movies age very like well. Fine wine. Yep. Because the practical effects were done so well that it's just like amazing. And there's a lot of zombie movies out there, especially like George Romero movies. They use such practical effects that like when people are getting fucking disemboweled, it looks so scary and real. You're like, I'd hate to be that person. Yeah. I'd hate to be the person victim.
Here's the thing, right? When you have a lack of technology, you got to make shit work.
Right.
And if you have the right means to it, you have the right director to it, they can make it look realistic. They can make it look far more realistic than the shit we have today. Because today people just like, nah, fuck it, put some
CG
CGI in it.
CGI in it.
This shit doesn't look real all the time. You
Yeah.
know for sure if it's not executed right, it doesn't look real all the time. So, also, of course, they had not only lack of CGI, whatever it was, camera output was different. They had to shoot things different lighting.
It's full. Some shots weren't like super widescreen.
Yeah. But
No
I
fucking
think
IMAX camera.
I think I think writers back then put a little more focus into their writing than today. I think today is huge. Hollywood is huge now, so I think they push out and they push out quick
Shit.
because things could be done quick. Those CGIs and whatever could be done quick. They don't really think much about it, and now we have streaming services. Streaming services output things faster. You don't really have much to like I guess you don't really lose out on much, you know,
Right.
like for example, right, this is the difference between streaming services and movies that I've noticed. You could put out a shit movie on a streaming site, right, on a let's say Netflix or Hulu, whatever the case may be, or you could put a shit movie out in the theaters. The difference is people are already paying for that streaming service, right? They haven't paid for the movie yet in the theaters. So if you tell somebody, yo, let's go see Zombies on the Moon, and they're like, yo, what the fuck? I'm not spending my money on that dumb shit. Fuck out of here. I'm not going to spend my money on that. And then you're at home like, yo, let's watch Zombies on the Moon. Like, all right, fuck it. Put that dumb shit on. Let's see what it's about.
Let's laugh about it. Let's watch the whole thing.
You've already paid for the product.
Right.
What do you have to lose besides like 5 minutes? And then you're like, all right, this shit's trash. And then you press back and then you go find something else.
Or you keep watching and just laugh at the
And laugh at it. The difference is like
Zombies on the Moon.
with streaming service, you don't have much to lose too much because people are gonna watch it regardless, and it's still gonna catch like some sort of attraction, whether it's bad or good. People might talk about it. So when it comes to like whack zombie movies or whack horror movies, on streaming services, it kind of benefits. Either way, it kind of benefits.
You know, I have quite a few questions for you. So, all right, what's your top 5? And then I'll ask you another question.
My top 5, that's hard.
I know it was tough. I had to really like
It's really tough. Like
think.
I don't even know how to even explain.
You
the
say
top
franchises, not specific movie. If you have specific movies, that's
I am
fine.
a fan of like, I think Rosemary's Baby. It's a really good movie.
I don't remember that one.
You should check it out. It's pretty good. I would say Sixth Sense was pretty good, but it wasn't the top 5. It's just like movies I like. I can't really determine the top 5 right now, so I'm just like throwing them out there. I'm a fan of the Insidious series. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Conjuring series has their hit or misses. Preferably, I like Conjuring 2. I think it was better than the first one.
Yeah.
And I already said The Exorcist. I do like Halloween. Halloween is a cult classic, instant classic.
Instant classic.
And definitely Nightmare on Elm Street. I think those movies right there, they got it. For me, they got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what I was gonna tell you was, here's an interesting topic. All right, you know how there's a whole bunch of dystopian movies, right? Dystopia, a dystopian society, and wasteland, like a wasteland society, post-apocalyptic. Do you think post-apocalyptic and dystopian society are like hybrid horror movies? In a sense,
Sort of. It's
they're
like,
not horror movies.
Yeah.
but but what are they?
It's
like-
I would say it's like borderline thriller.
A thriller. Oh, I see.
it's-
A thriller, not a.
It's not a horror. It could be a thriller in a sense where
Suspense
like
thriller.
it's very suspenseful. Especially if depending on what they show in the fucking dystopian worlds. For example, right? It's not a dystopian world, but when we watch movies like what do you call that? Oh man, it's something on the mountains.
There's something in the mountains.
How am I not remembering this? It's basically
What's the movie about?
a family that like was affected by radioactive
The Hills Have Eyes.
The Hills Have Eyes, right?
It's a horror movie.
It's technically horror, but I wouldn't even consider it horror. I would consider it thriller.
Really?
But the thing is, like, it's very dystopian-esque because
Right.
like you're set in a very like
Isolated.
isolated setting, and it's very out of the ordinary.
It's interesting, right? You have some of these movies, and they usually tend out. I mean, they could be complete shit shows, but they can also be very exciting movies because you're getting two things at once.
The Hills Have Eyes, yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah.
I literally thought about that right now. I was like, cause like that could be scary.
You know what tries to take on the dystopian feel to it? Resident Evil movies. You see, as they develop, it's super dystopian because the world is distraught.
If it
World
keeps
is
going
gone.
on and a vaccine is never found, then it's gonna turn into
The world
a
is the
wasteland.
shit. But that's
Yeah.
what happened. I think what Resident Evil 3 or 4. That
The
like
movie.
yeah,
The movie?
like everything was shit.
Not the video game.
Yeah,
Yeah, the video game's way different.
Everything was shit.
It's interesting. The movies take their own
Turn,
I
spin
stopped
on it.
watching after the second
Yeah.
one, but they take a crazy turn into like dystopian societies. with
But I wouldn't
zombies.
I wouldn't really consider that horror. But
It's
I
thriller.
wouldn't even consider it thriller because it's super action packed. But it's hard. It's borderline in a sense where they are zombies. It is horrific that the world ended, and it's like only through fucking a handful of, well, as far as we know, the main characters, but like those humans actually focusing on like resetting the world or finding a cure. So that is scary because you know that there probably are existing humans. We don't see them in the picture, but we see maybe 4 or 5 characters trying to reset the world into what it was.
Now I have a super interesting question. Now, because I know we always dive in every once in a while into like video games and stuff, but okay, you're a creative director, so to speak.
Yeah.
Whatever. You're gonna make a two separate things. You're gonna make a movie, and you're gonna make a video game.
Yeah.
Right. Because we could go on for hours talking about this, but I'm just gonna say like if we're gonna start from fresh.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna make a horror movie. You're gonna make a horror video game.
Yeah.
Go. Tell me. Shoot me an idea.
All right, horror movie. Boom. Probably called Five Priests. I want to set it where it's gonna start in the beginning, where the priests are children, where they're just kids,
Right.
and one of the kids moves to Long Island. He moves to Long Island,
New York City.
New York City. fuck it. He moves to New York City, and upon moving to New York City, this
Long
new
Island,
house.
New York City.
Yo,
sorry, my bad.
Long Island, New York City. Yes,
Right.
he moves to Long Island, and upon moving, he comes across like the new house that he's in, and he experiences something that's out of the ordinary. It's a demonic presence, and it makes itself known first day off the rip. I don't fucking want
He
you
can't
here.
even. He can't even move in his couch yet.
Not off the rip.
The
As
couch
soon as
explodes.
he's going to bed, off the rip, that demonic presence makes itself known.
Right.
It's not happy that the family's there, and kind of keeps the kid at like distraught his first day. Next scene, boom, goes and he it's the first day of school. He's already a quiet kid, and especially because of like things that happened. He's like in 2nd, 3rd grade, but he lives awfully close to home. So he meets like 4 other kids on the playground, and they're super energetic boys, and they're really easy to get along with. They're very social characters, but he's very distant because he's kind of distraught about what happened the day before. And upon meeting these kids, he opens up about like, oh, I just moved here, and
Right.
I don't know, something's weird in my house. And there's always this one brave kid, and he's like, he's kind of a potty mouth. He's like, let's go fuck him up. And it's
Yeah.
like a 2nd grader. What are you doing cursing at and shit? But eventually, you know, the mom hears about friends that he has, and he invites them over. She invites them over for a little play thing, or they can sleep over if they want. But the whole concept of it is that on that sleepover, the kids already planned this kind of like, all right, when we sleep over, we're gonna try to find the thing that's bothering you, and we're gonna fuck him up, type shit. But then this is a first demonic experience for each and every one of these kids, and after that experience, they start looking into church, start going to church, start following the Bible, and then that's when they start studying as to like how to get rid of demons. They spend time in the libraries, things like that after school, and they learn about it, and they actually attempt to fight this thing. Unbeknownst enough, these kids actually get this done. 5 children with barely any fear in their heart because they're together in a group, and they beat this thing. And after that, they tend to follow the Bible far more.
What's the name of the demon?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I really don't. Eventually, these kids take this as a gig, and they're like, yo, like, let's help people. Middle school, this is like the middle school time where they've had 3 years to like actually study, and they're feeling confident because they already got rid of something that one adult priest probably couldn't get rid of on his own. So these kids have the confidence of a fucking skyscraper. And eventually, it turns into what we know as the 5 priests.
They all become priests.
They're adults, and they perform exorcisms together. But in a crazy fashion where, like, they have, like, they enclose holy water and, like, glow sticks, throw them in, so, like, when the demonic presence tries to, like, scare people with darkness or whatever, they have the glow sticks, throw them around with everything.
Oh, they get crazy.
It's very professional, as in, like, yo, they know. They've dealt with this, and they have each other's backs. Right. But
they have a holy water machine gun.
No, not like that. It doesn't get into, like, no action shit.
Yeah, no action. But
they come in ready where, like, they're not buns because they've dealt with this.
I was trying to be the Michael Bay of horror movies.
No. Hell no. From the middle school years and then to their adult lives that...
I can spice this shit up, bro.
But then the whole premise of this... Shut up. The whole premise of this is that they come across a demon that actually is...
Too strong.
Extremely strong.
Out of their league.
And the fact that it starts tampering with their personal lives.
Yeah.
Like I said, just because they're priests doesn't mean they're perfect beings. So one priest is going through a divorce. He's having crazy love life issues. But this is the thing, right? When you're a priest and you're doing exorcisms, you have to really keep your life in order. You have to try to keep your life in order, because any small little distraught event, that demon will bring up when you perform exorcisms, or that demon will present. So
he's gonna say, yo, you got a small beef.
Yeah, he said, that's why your wife fucked the neighbor.
Yeah, like you cannot please your wife.
Exactly. You know, you want to hear that shit, and then the thing is, it's awkward in the sense where, like, his fucking friends didn't even know that.
Right, he's like,
he's known for like 20 years.
You have erectile dysfunction.
You know, but shit. I wouldn't be like that. But
take a fucking Cialis.
Yeah. Or, like, you know, so it would be in that sense, and then I would have the group kind of break up a little bit, and when they break up, they all deal with their own personal, like, little issues. The demon follows them, and it becomes to a certain point where one of them passes away, and it's
the 4 priests,
and it's with one of them passing.
It's still the 5 priests, right? Oh my bad.
Oh fuck! Wait, I can't have one of them pass away. But
one of them could pass away because it started out as the 5 priests.
I would say one of them gets severely.
And the sequel's gonna be for the 4 priests.
One of them gets severely injured. That's right. It got to be the 5 priests.
He can pass away. That's fine.
One of them gets severely injured.
Because how do they get in the incentive?
And when he gets severely injured,
how bad though?
It's at this point where he turns into atheism.
Oh, he turns into.
He starts believing in God. He believes, and it's the same one that went through the divorce. So he's like, yo, listen.
What's he get, a fractal coaxial bone?
He's fucked up. He was like in a coma for a couple months.
Right.
He's like, listen, where was God when I went through this coma? Where was God when I lost my wife, which I believed he promised me?
Oh, he lost his wife?
Yeah, he lost his wife.
And he got cancer.
Okay, and he got cancer. We can
Demon
add that.
cancer.
Demon cancer.
That's
This
a new
dude went through
cancer.
coma, cancer, and losing his wife. Right?
But he made it through leukemia somehow.
Somehow.
Because he said science. I believe in science. I don't
Yeah,
believe
he
in
believed.
yeah.
So
Chemotherapy.
the four
and
priests
shit.
are struggling because now he was kind of the rock of the group, almost like.
Oh damn, the main guy.
Where he's holding them up, where he's holding them together,
Damn,
and
that's
because they were
tough.
already having their issues where like they think that they should stop performing like these exorcisms, they should really call it quits and enjoy their lives because these exorcisms and all these things are
Draining.
they're draining and they take like they something to think about all the time when they go to sleep, and it's like they don't want those memories to follow them, that they want to just enjoy life now with their family and their loved
because they have a lot
ones.
to lose now.
Exactly. They were like, yo, when we were teenagers and we were in college, we were doing this, but what did we have to lose? We had nothing to lose,
Right,
really.
right.
Now we have our families and we want to focus on that. A lot of that goes into factor. And it's sort of like towards the end where, like, they get it together, like, listen, we don't have him. We have us four at the moment, and we have to make do because this presence is too strong. And I won't tell you the rest, but
I know what happens. I know. You want me to tell you what happens?
What?
I know exactly what happens.
What?
They go right to the fucking castle, whatever, the final stage. They get there, right? And they're just about close enough to defeating. They find the source of the problem.
yeah.
And they're just close enough to defeating the demon, but they made a crucial mistake, right? Because they rushed into it. They missed like a scripture, a part of the scripture. They fucked up the ritual somehow, right? And then they're about to lose, but then comes the stone, the rock. Wait, hold up.
Actually-
hold up. He comes back, and they're able to successfully finish the mission, but at a great cost. One of them ends up dying.
Wrong.
The Rock ends up dying.
Completely wrong.
Not like Dwayne Johnson.
Rock.
Dwayne Johnson is one of the priests.
Yeah.
He's
No, he's not.
He gets into a physical fist fight, a spiritual battle with the demon.
Actually, it's
And
completely
he rocks
wrong.
bottom. He rock bottoms the
Completely wrong.
demon.
No, it's
Tables for
completely.
3 tables. Sprays that nigga with holy water.
No.
All right, my bad.
It's
I gotta.
completely wrong.
It's completely.
Completely wrong. I'm not gonna tell you how I ended.
You gotta tell me, bro.
No, I'm not gonna tell you how I
because you
did
might
that.
write this one.
Actually, this is all right. Fun fact. I would say this in
Oh,
the
my
pod,
fucking
right?
ribs.
I'll say this in the pod. I was gonna write. I actually wanted to write this book.
The 5 priests.
It's very super rough. That's why like it was so easy for me to explain it.
Oh, because you already had this idea.
It's super rough. I've only thought about it for
You didn't
about.
know I was gonna ask you that question.
I've only thought about it for about 2 weeks
It's crazy.
while writing, but I stopped, and I stopped because when I was writing that book, I had nightmares for 5 days in a row. Really thinking about the gruesome things I have to write about. Really thinking about like demonic possessions. I have to study it. I have to like look at shit that like
You're probably.
kind of like.
I actually like looking into that stuff.
But the
like
thing-
the history of everything, and
I have to ingrain that in my head.
It's fun.
to the point where like it's fun in the sense where like if you're reading about it,
but I
it's
see
like you're learning.
you really.
But I have to ingrain it in my head and understand like, sort of like the interactions, and then I have to understand like the procedures of exorcisms, and I have to understand all that. And then not only that, but when on my free time, I'm thinking about, what would be like horrific to the point where like it would scare people, and when I'm writing it to be like, yo, this shit is scary to read.
Right.
So when I'm thinking about all that horrific shit and all those gruesome, like, cause think about it, I have the imagery in my head and I have to make them real on paper. So all that imagery in my head is stuck. It's stuck there, and I had the vivid nightmares, vivid nightmares. Mind you, they're good nightmares because they gave me ideas to write about, but it was draining. It was too much to the point where I'm like, dude, like I got great content just from these dreams that I could write about, and I know they'd be scary, but they're taxing on my own sleep. I was like, I can't keep waking up in the middle of the night, like scared out my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Like, because when I would wake up from these nightmares, I'm not excited. Like I'm scared as shit, and then I wake up the next day in the morning. I'm like, all right, I could write about that, but it's not exciting to like go to sleep and know that you're gonna have these nightmares. It was scary ass nightmares, bro. Scary fucking nightmares. So, pro tip: anybody wanting to write horror films or movies or books, whatever the case may be, watch out, because if you really, the whatchamacallit, the writer of The Exorcist, he did that. He quarantined himself in like a cabin because he said shit. It was really dark. Like he had to really keep himself like composed by himself.
Yeah.
Because it's really that bad.
It's crazy. I did say like, oh, come up with like a video game idea, but that we can leave that for this conversation for another time.
Yeah.
Movie ideas are my head's about to explode right now.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about like all the shit you were saying. It's crazy shit. I would spend time just looking through stories, literature, for fun.
It is fun. Those type of things are exciting.
Yes, I put my nightlight on right before I go to fucking sleep. I'll see this chair that I'm sitting on. Like I'll see it. I'll freak out. I close my eyes and I'll suck my thumb. Okay.
What's wrong with you, bro? Okay. Nobody asks that. Nobody
asks that. I just want you to know.
But nobody asks that.
Yeah, I cuddle my pillow at night. Okay.
Nobody asks that. You don't have to admit that to us.
I get scared.
All right.
I get scared.
We understand. I
start praying.
We understand.
I feel things at night.
You feel things at night?
Yeah, things go bump in the night.
Like what? What do you feel?
No, don't worry about it.
Yo, bro, what is wrong with you?
This is crazy.
Bro, you did not have to like go through that right now. Seriously. But thanks once again, guys, for joining us on Spooktober. Spooktastic, crazy good, luscious, horrific, grotesque October event.
Halloween in your head.
Halloween in your head.
Halloween in your eyes. You could
take that shit.
You can smell
fucking bed.
You can smell the fucking pumpkins from a mile away.
And don't get possessed. Pray, bitch, and put that shit to rest.
Right.
Thank you guys for listening to this POV on this
POD. POV on this POD?
Yeah, point of view on this pod.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Woo.